How to finish triangles. If you catch people with one arm in, one arm out, and you're not finishing them, this video might help you. In fact, it will help you to finish more triangles and get more taps, and you're gonna have a lot less sore legs. Let's have a look. Hey guys, finishing triangles. We all get stuck in them. Let's have a look how to finish them. So, if Reese here is in my triangle, so more or less, we obviously can get here a million ways, and you know, this video isn't a video on 100 different ways into the triangle, because there's more than that, and they're everywhere. But here we are, one arm in, one arm out, and my feet across. This is the minimum sort of position where you can start to really think about finishing a triangle. So, first things first, guys, make sure from here that you're keeping your heels down and your knees squeezed and pulling his head down. Even if you don't do anything with the legs. If you pull the head down, you can even shoot your feet up and squeeze your knees in and tighten the choke up that way. But none of this works without pulling the head. You must put two of your hands onto the head, okay? When you start, don't even worry about bringing this arm across. Seriously, leave it for later, okay? Grab the head, just grab the head. As soon as you're grabbing the arm, that can be a good thing. You can move the arm across, but it means your hands aren't on the head. So put the hands on the head. We can deal with the arm later, but right now, I want you to just have hands on the head, which means we have to leave his arm alone. So we're gonna grab his head and we're gonna pull it down. Very important. Now, if your partner here tries to stack you, just try to stack me, you need to wiggle backwards. And when you're wiggling, what you wanna do is you want to be always still trying to squeeze your knees together. So you can squeeze and clamp, or you can squeeze and extend your legs. Either way, Reese will tell you there's a lot of pressure sideways, okay? Guys who aren't as tough will tap. However, from this position, it's now imperative that we don't loosen anything up, okay? But one thing that I do like to do is I keep my knees squeezing, I undo my legs and I put one foot in the hip and I grab the other shin. You'll notice that I'm constantly holding onto his head. From this position, it lets me do two things. It lets me wiggle backwards, okay? And it lets me cut an angle, especially if I'm not flexible enough to touch my heel to my own knee. Once we're here, one of the biggest misconceptions that I get is that I see on the mats, I should say, is that people try to lock a triangle with people's back in there. And even if I take his back out, even putting his shoulder in there, if he's a big guy, that's gonna be a problem. So what I'm gonna try to do is once I've got my foot in his hip and I'm holding onto my own shin, never grab your toes, guys, always your shin. I'm now going to, from here, turn and bring my heel, if I can, even slightly in front of his shoulder, here. What that means is that when I bring my left leg over, I'm going to lock over, and notice how my left leg is actually forward of the shoulder. So I'm not locking behind his shoulder. The squeeze goes into his back. Make sure that our left leg doesn't go over the elbow. If we go over the elbow, we've lost the triangle. But we need to go over the shoulder. And then we go out with our foot and down. And notice how my toes are dorsiflexed, not flexed like plantar flexion this way. They're dorsiflexed. But don't just go over your foot. Look at all this extra space. You go as tight to his head as you can, okay? I'd rather have a triangle that looked like that than a triangle that looked like this. Because if I've got a triangle that looks like that, even though my legs aren't crossed, I can still tap him easily. But sometimes if you get a guy and his arms are crossed and your triangle you can't finish, don't pull him down into any space. Pull him across into your hamstring. And make sure that you get used to, whichever is the cut leg, make sure you get used to actually flexing your hamstring. You know, because obviously we can squeeze the knees, but we need to like flex that hamstring and try to make a nice sharp shape. You can see here, this like little tendon here, that really cuts in. And if you can pull people into that hard surface, they're gonna tap. So let's have a look here again. I'm here. First things first, pull the head down. Guys, that's 90%. Squeeze the knees, heels down, foot in the hip, grab the shin. Once we're here, we can wiggle back and get our foot ideally in front of our own knee and his shoulder, and then over, and it's done. okay? If ever you've got someone in a triangle and they're not tapping for some reason, guys, never forget this one. This is one of my favorites. If you come around here for me, Paul, the magical cameraman, I like to rotate and change my angle, and I grab hold of his arm here and I pull this way. That's my favorite backup triangle attack. You guys can nerd out over that one. I really love it. You will too. But there's some basics, guys, and that's what that is. They're triangle finishing basics. But it's amazing when we encounter lack of success in our jiu-jitsu, how often it was just because we either forgot or didn't apply the basics. We're all guilty of it. So hopefully you guys can finish more triangles. But I'm telling you right now, the thing that's going to change your life if you're not doing it already is 2 hands pulling down on the head. It'll stop people lifting you, it'll stop people stacking you, it'll stop people driving through and pulling out. 2 hands on the head is going to be the biggest piece of advice here that you guys need to do. All the rest is quite easy. Happy triangling. See you next time. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you loved it. For more free videos, click here. And if you'd like to get our free Footlock Masterclass, please click here. And if you'd like to help support me so I can help bring you high-level jiu-jitsu for free every day, please click here. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm Coach Tom. I'll see you next time.